Hey everybody, welcome to Let's Play Sins of a Solar Empire Rebellion. I'm Nye.
I'm Mako, and Nye knows much more about this than I do.
I really don't. Let's be honest. I'm terrible at real-time strategy games, but I have a love for Sins of a Solar Empire. So you know, we're gonna see what we can do on this one. I love this game. I love it a lot. It's a lot of fun, and I'm hoping I can convince Mako to buy it and play it with me.
I don't RTS that much. Last RTS I played was StarCraft, so
we can team this. You can 2v others this.
Huh.
Yeah, this game is fantastic.
I still have not found that one strategy game I mentioned to you last time we were talking about these.
That's cool.
The space strategy. I'd love to know what it was, and I just cannot find it for the love of them.
So we're gonna do. We are going to. Is there a custom I can do for maps? I thought there was a custom I could do. So not medium maps, large maps, map designer, Galaxy Forge. How many computers should I face off against? I kind of like big ones. So you're gonna see a lot more about this in a minute when we actually get to it. But we don't really need. I think we should go with 8. Does 8 sound good? 8 sounds really good. 8 with 3 stars. We'll do regular, large, multi.
Oh yeah, stars. I was about to say what's the significance of stars? Right, space.
You're gonna see, yeah.
Derp.
We'll do large fleets because I love fleets. Fleets are sexy. We'll do normal everything, though. Victory options. Every victory is on. Yes. We'll leave everything on. We'll do everything. Okay. Oh, wait. Hell, no. Wait, no. I'm rereading this. We're not going to do that. Okay. No, we're not going to do that. That's not fun. Nope, we're not gonna do that. That's not fun. Actually, never mind. I don't actually like some of these victories. Never mind. Okay, we'll do that one now. Okay.
You sound more like civilization-style victory conditions.
Some of them are. Some of them are definitely civilization victory. The problem is they take away from the fun, which is the fleet management. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, and it's going to be me. I'm going to play as the Advent. Okay, who do I want to play as? Okay, so here's the thing. There are 3 different main factions in Sins of Solar Empire in general. The faction you play as decides a little bit of your play style. So we'll start with the ones I'm not going to choose. So there's the TEC. The TEC are basically the Terrans. They're the Terran Economic Coalition, I think, something to that effect. Humans, they're very much a money and a money-based thing. They very much have just like kind of regular ships that shoot each other. They are the Traitor Emergency Coalition. There it is. I could just read the screen, but I don't like doing that. So they have a couple of cool things that they're able to do. They're very Halo-style vehicles, things like that. They really like money. I think they get a lot of benefits from money. It's been a while since I've played them. Been a while since I've played this game, really. So they get some very cool stuff. They get deep space constructor ships, which can do big star bases. They have something called insurgency. Other empires suffer periodic attacks by liberating forces as oppressed traitor civilians across the sector take up arms and rebel against them. So you have issues you got to deal with. They have something called, every civilization has a prototype weapon. The TEC has what's called the Novolith cannon, which allows you to bombard enemy planets in other solar systems. So you just shoot this gigantic projectile that just attacks them. It's very cool stuff. Very good at taking out enemy planets. You also get a fraction of all other empires' expenditures because you're a trader economy. So when they buy stuff, you get a little bit of that money. Not much, but you get that. Every empire has 6 battleships, 6 capital-class battleships. Each battleship is basically a hero unit. It has, I think it's 3 or 4 unique abilities to each battleship. each group has 6 special battleships. You can make a lot of them, actually. I think you can get up to like 9 or 10 battleships at once. And then new to, I forget which expansion added this, but now there's 2 versions of any given group. So in the case of the TEC, there's the Loyalists and the Rebels. So the Loyalists, want to be away from other factions. They're able to deploy cheaper star bases. They can construct 2 star bases around their planets instead of, I think, just 1. They get heavier armor on their defensive structures, and their Novolith cannons are cheaper, so they get to build these things a lot easier. And then every faction has a Titan class warship. It's this gigantic, like, kill you motherfucker. And they get the Ankelon Titan, which is able to defend friendly fleets against aggressors. And I believe there's also 6. I think these are the bonuses here that specifically the Loyalists get. The Rebels, on the other hand, get economic benefits from attacking other empires. They're pirate style. They can ally with neutral and pirate factions. Everybody else has to deal with pirates. You're going to see me do that a lot. They can construct the Ragnarov Titan, which is a gigantic warship that has a railgun. It's kind of cool stuff. Then you have the Vasari. So the Vasari are one of the 2 alien races. So they are a huge ancient race. They have been out in hyperspace for God knows how long. And they actually mastered hyperspace. They are the masters of it, and they have suddenly come back. The problem is they are missing the majority of their empire. They don't know where it is. So they're still trying to reach out and find the rest of their empire as they search for a good place to settle down. So they're in long wars. So they start with remote assembly. They can start with their star bases. With their, I think their scouts can build them instead of just regular constructors. They have the Kostera cannon, which is very, very cool. So it's not only a damage and disable against enemy orbital structures, which that's all your structures are orbital, but they also cause what's called a phase stabilizer node. The Vasari are able to manipulate phase space. Phase space are the hyperspace lanes. So you can only travel from star to star or planet to planet by way of hyperspace lanes, unless you're the Vasari. They can create what's called phase stabilizer nodes. They take a building slot, but they allow phase space transfers between 2 different stars that have those nodes. So they don't have to go through phase space. They also move on phase space faster than others. It's a real-time strategy game. Speed is important. The Kostera cannon is really unique because when you shoot an enemy world, it creates a temporary phase stabilizer node at that world. So now you can teleport directly to an enemy planet. Everybody else has to go around. You cannot normally create buildings on other enemy planets, so this is kind of a cool thing. They also get the phase tunneling. So they get the phase stabilizer node, allows them to travel between planets as if they had phase lanes. They get to move a lot faster around the map. They also get phase miniaturization, which allows them to make their missiles bypass shields because they're teleporting. Kind of neat. So you get their 6 Titans, or 6 capital classes as everybody else. The Loyalists, so again, we have Loyalists and Rebels. The Loyalists can develop without the need for planets, which is kind of special. They can call upon the Dark Fleet. That's one of the abilities the Vasari started with. So the Dark Fleet is their specialty fleet. That's the one they're trying to find. It's huge, it's gigantic, and they can't find it. Every so often, you can call upon the Dark Fleet, and they can send a few more ships your way as they are able to get more and more ships to you now that they found you. So they get kind of just free armies. And they're able to consume planets for their resources. They also get the Varastra Titan, which is a gigantic warship which can move instantaneously, I believe, across maps, has splash damage, and can eat other ships. On the other hand, the Rebels get a quick hit-and-run tactics. They can share phase networks, move their star bases around systems. They also get the Kultarisk Titan, which can leech power from enemies and string back to the Titan, so it can steal health. So that's the Vasari. We're not playing as them. We're playing as the Advent. So the Advent are kind of interesting. They're a highly advanced civilization. They're psychic. They have cybernetics. They're spiritual. They communicate psychically, and they want kind of what's best for everybody. But they were outcast by the TEC, so they want to get rid of the TEC, or they want to destroy it because they don't really believe in what the TEC believes. But they also want to share their risen consciousness with everybody else. So the Advent has a couple of cool things they do. So number one, they have mass transcendence. So every so often, or their ships will just level up. Their ships gain, their hero class warships just gain experience, just constantly, up to a certain cap. And they gain bonus experience. So your warships are a lot more powerful than other warships. They also get, their cannon is the Deliverance engine. So the game has a culture-based way to succeed. You spread culture to other planets, and you can flip other planets by way of culture, which is kind of cool. The Deliverance engine does a gigantic culture spike at whatever cannon you shoot it at. So it doesn't destroy buildings, it's not a good war cannon, but you can spread culture and kind of affect other people's culture while you're doing other things. You don't always have to fight. They get the Unity Indoctrination, which is the Temple of Communion structure, which increases your culture spread to other nearby planets. They also get Raise Shield Harmonics, which means that their shields block more damage. So we also have Loyalists and Rebels. So the Loyalists can use their unique culture to mind control enemy ships and empower friendly vessels, which is kind of awesome, as long as they're within their cultural borders. And they can also have vengeance attacks, hurting foes for hurting them. They can also build the Coronata Titan, which is able to inflict enormous damage or even instantly flip any other planets. I think it does a culture flip on them. So really powerful. The Rebels, on the other hand, use Purified Unity. They can actually revive destroyed ships instead of just losing them entirely, specifically capital ships. They can sacrifice a world to deal damage to adjacent planets. They can also rapidly spread their culture to assist their fleets, potentially take over planets, things like that. They get the Erratica Titan, which is a very powerful offensive Titan that is really, really hard to fight. So we're going to go with the Loyalists because I like that stuff. So we're going to be Advent Loyalists. We're going to randomize everything. We're going to do 8 teams. This will allow enemies and allies, myself, to develop allies and to agree with people. It's not always going to happen, but we're going to do it. And now that I've spent 12 minutes explaining this game, let's play. Let the game take its time loading. It's going to load the entire map. This is a real-time strategy game, so I'm not going to have much in the way of pausing available to me. But I believe I get to affect rate of time a little bit. I think I can slow it down if I need to. Okay, so we're in. So here we are. Let's see. There's my main planet. Hello, you.
A Titan factory is required.
Okay, so let's see. So we have our capital ship factory, which is available to us. I could make a capital ship, but I don't want to. It's been a while since I've played this game, so let me see if I can remember how to play. So we want to build some ships. We want to build some logistic structures. We are maxed out on metal. Metal is one of our 2 currencies. So we have metal and we have crystal. We have frigate factories, so we're able to build frigates. We could build a Temple of Hostility or a Temple of Harmony. Those take up logistic slots, which are how many items I'm allowed to have around my planet at once. They also, those are what allows me to research new technology. I need to have a certain amount of those to develop technology. I also have a capital ship factory already, allowing me to do kind of build capital ships. Our first capital ship will be Freeze. The question is, do I want Radiance, Discord, Revelation, Progenitor, or Halcyon Character, or Rapture Battlecruiser? So what we're going to do is we're going to build the Progenitor Mothership. It's going to take a little while, so we're going to give that some time. I'm not going to be able to build basically anything else right now. Let's see, can I build some frigates? Can we, let's see, do I have, what's assembly drones? Do I have seeker vessels? There we go. You go explore. Bye. You go explore. See you. Okay, so my two seeker drones here are gonna go, or seeker vessels are gonna go find other planets. So let's zoom out a little bit. So this is our map. So you can see on our map that we have 1 star. It's the only star I know of. There are 2 other stars. Stars are basically, think of them as galaxies is the better way to think about it. They're not a single star. There are warp zones that allow you to get to other stars. So there's 2 other ones that I do not currently have any access to. Then in our star, we have our planet. So this is our planet. We're at Praxidus. There are 3 other planets available for Praxidus, and you'll notice that there's these lines. Those lines are phase lanes. So I can only explore by going on phase lanes. I have to go through those because I am not the guys that are allowed to skip that.
All shall join the Unity.
Okay.
In time.
We are going to build some seeker vessels. No, we're going to build some disciple vessels. We're going to get a little bit of something going on. We just built our first capital ship, so our Progenitor Mothership has just spawned. The reason why I want a progenitor mothership is because it is a colonizable ship. It can create colonies around the map, which will allow me to get other planets and build up. It also has a squadron available to it, so it has a little bit of a carrier. It's not a really good carrier, but it has a little bit of a carrier available to it, so it can build stuff for me. We're going to be building a bunch of our disciple vessels. Disciple vessels are fantastic because they are very small. What's the word I'm looking for? They are very small, like engagement craft. They're kind of strike craft. They're not meant to be used to bombard planets, which is unfortunate, but they can do their own thing. Okay, so now that we have something going on, so we have our mothership. We have a bunch of our little disciple vessels, which are starting to go and do things. I don't want that. No, you go there. Fine. We're going to get a couple more of those, and then we're going to go see what we can do with research. So we can research into all of these are different researches, except for artifacts. Artifacts you just kind of find. But we could research fleet logistics if I want to have a bigger fleet. It costs me more to do so, but I could. If I research into understanding... I can do something like manipulate bounty hunters or get relationship bonuses. If I research into harmony, I can start getting things like faster research, better like colonization, or better psychic tech, things like that. Security allows me to build defensive structures. Hostility allows me to build offensive. But the problem is that in order to build those, I need to have a Temple of Hostility. I can't build anything else. Okay, so we're still just setting up our base here. Now we want to develop our planet. So we have some developments in any given planet. So you can develop the civilian infrastructure, gives you more population, gives you more taxes. You can develop the emergency facilities, it gives the planet more health against bombardments. You can explore the planet to find stuff. You can designate the planet as a capital, get better tax rates. And then you can upgrade its logistic and tactical, like, maxes, let's say.
Okay, so I'm guessing at the top right is... Well, you got a basic control bar across the top, and there's resources on the top right, sort of on the right hand of the top bar. What's the top right?
Okay, so we'll go over the bar here. So on the left hand side is the place we'll start. That's my quick menu. That's just telling me, it's giving me quick information about the various planets. That's a volcanic. That's a dwarf. We're gonna go after that one. So you'll see that there's my capital planet. This is the fleet I currently have around the capital planet. There are the buildings I have around the capital planet, things like that. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you can see what's going on here. So that's my capital ship right there. And these are all my disciple class ships right there. You can see where they're going. When they get to the edge of normal space, right around here, that's that circle, they'll get ready to phase jump. So you can see they're charging up the phase jump here. It takes a couple seconds for that to happen, and phase jumps take energy, so you can't really rapidly phase jump. So they're all going to jump over to Tantalus over here.
Our fleet.
So they are arriving in Tantalus. I'm going to wait for a couple seconds for all of my seeker vessels to arrive. And the reason why we're going to wait is there is going to be
insufficient metal.
There's going to be bad stuff going on there. There is a fleet here. There are a couple things, not too much. There's a couple of neutral enemies that I have to deal with. So we're going to deal with them. That's why I want to send a gigantic fleet to go deal with that, as opposed to just my capital ship by itself. Capital ship could have probably dealt with it by itself, but I do want to defend my capital ship because I don't want to lose that. It's kind of a very important thing to have. So you'll see that my capital ship is fighting off these guys. Capital ships very early on, they know what they're doing. Like, they're not just going to suck it up. But we want to make sure that we have plenty of damage against that. And you'll notice the capital ship just took over planet Tantalus. So we're going to sit here for a second. We're going to start developing this planet. Okay, so that's what that is. Now, across the top here, a bunch of controls so I can actually fix that. There's me, menu buttons, zoom to cursor, toggle cinematic mode, which just makes so you can see things a lot prettier. So we got diplomacy. So I can talk to other groups once I meet them, and they'll offer me missions that I can do, and if I do that, they're going to like me more, and then if they like me more, I might be able to convince them to join me, do diplomacy, things like that. Relationships makes it very easy for me to see how anybody's doing with everybody. So nobody's really met each other yet. Some people automatically dislike me for like racial inclination, faction, things like that. Then we have, of course, our research. We already looked at that. Then we have the black market. So
Planet
this is what
development
this
complete.
is in the upper right-hand corner. So we'll skip that for just a moment. Upper right-hand corner, you're seeing my supply appear. So that big red 0 is my
Requisite research must
that's
be
my
conducted
my
first.
fleet supply. It tells me how much supply I have for my fleets. Same like it's the same thing as you normally see from something like StarCraft.
time?
Do you have enough supply buildings to build that new marine? Same concept. So every capital
Strength
ship
and
takes at
unity.
least one capital. Each of our little guys takes several of their own things. That is a seeker vessel.
Speak your mind.
Kill that, please. Also, what are you? You're a construction ship? Yeah. Kill that, please. So that's that. And then these are my 3 different resources. So I can mine some. The others I have to actually do myself. So you have credits. Credits are your tax. That's just the basic income you get. Credits you're going to get constantly. It's just the tax that you earn.
Speak your
Then
mind.
you have metal and crystal. Now, every planet, mostly, has these things. They're asteroids that have metal or crystal in them. You spend metal or crystal to build whatever it is you have to build. So, for example, if I want to build on my home planet another disciple vessel, it costs me 250 credits, but also 40 metal. The problem is I may not always have that. Sometimes you don't get nice planets that
What's on your mind?
have everything you need out of them. So what we have to do instead, we're going to need to build
Requisite
another seeker
research
vessel.
must be conducted.
You don't always have
first.
it. So then you go to the black market. So these buttons are, respectively, buy that resource or sell that resource on the right-hand side. So
Credits
I'm allowed to buy or
I
sell
seek
whatever it is I need.
knowledge.
for tax credit things.
Yeah, I spend my credits to get that. So, it's cute and all, but you have to be very careful about spending like that, because this is actually fluctuating based on how people are spending. If you buy more, price goes up. If you sell more, price goes down. So you just got to be careful about how you manage that. Decide in what way are you going to be doing things like this. Okay, we did build a Temple of Hostility over here. I actually do want to make sure that we get a Temple of Harmony built. This will allow me to do some research. We're probably going to want a second Temple of Harmony too. You'll see what happens when I go into my research menu. That if I go into my hostility menu, you see how there's this line right here? So that line indicates what I'm allowed to research right now. I believe that you
Scrying
can
planet has
research...
revealed nothing.
You notice how these are lit up and these aren't, even though there's no line? I'm actually allowed to... I'm allowed to start research even when I haven't built the building yet, because the building is being built. I can't actually start researching until the construction's done, but I can queue up that research. So it's pretty nice. Okay, we're let's see. Do I have those are my assembly drones?
Show me the path.
You get exploring. I want to see what's available to me. Okay, so we are right now. We're going off really slowly. We're gonna have you
Speak your
guys
mind.
go explore
Say no
that.
more.
This is probably a bad idea because I don't know what's going on around. Okay, so black market, buy, sell, convert. I can also every time I press this button, it gives me 100 of that given resource. You can also
Construction
offer a
finished.
price, to see kind of offer up your stuff.
Construction finished.
So you can do a better price potentially than the black market is, but you may get less than the black market. So you can get your money for your stuff. You may get better than the sell price, but there's no promise you're actually going to sell it. You can also offer a certain amount of money to get it. So might not happen,
Is
might
it
happen.
time?
Kind of depends on how lucky you are. Okay, what do we
Strikes
see
me
over
that
Planet
in a
has been discovered.
other person style game, market might also give you an idea into who's doing what. Because if you see the
Is it
the price
time?
for something going up a lot, you might know somebody's buying a whole
Yeah.
lot of.
Well, you'll also occasionally get a statement of, this
by
market
for
has
phase drop.
crashed, this market has gained. So you get to see kind of
Our
what people
fleet
are doing.
has arrived.
Hello. Okay, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay, so we have found a couple of things. I am not necessarily happy about what I have found. So on the right-hand side, we have an asteroid. Asteroids are not colonizable, so I can't colonize this asteroid.
Guide me.
Can you mine it?
Or can I? Yes, never mind. I can colonize asteroids. Never mind. I can mine it, so that's actually gonna be the plan. Is I'm gonna get a colony going over there as soon as humanly possible.
Our reinforcements have arrived.
Let's see. Go ahead and let's see. I'm maxing out logistics structures over here. Fantastic. Okay, let's go to you and let's build one of those here. I need to up your civilian infrastructure. Okay. Let's see. How's this fight going? Yeah, we should win that pretty easily. Over here is what I don't like. We have a wormhole. Wormholes can go anywhere. Somewhere elsewhere is the other end of this wormhole. Can I see it? Do I know where it is? No. I'd have to actually go into the wormhole, and I don't feel like randomly jumping into a wormhole right now. So, if I go into the wormhole, I could jump to the other side and kind of figure out what's going on over there. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's see. What do I want? I want that.
Planet development complete.
So I could go to the other side of the wormhole. Though the reason I don't like it is because like an enemy could jump in and get me at kind of any time, and I kind of dislike that idea.
It's not terribly defensible because you might not know what's on the other side. Is what I get at.
So we're just gonna, we're gonna deal with it as it comes. I'm gonna start building defenses pretty soon. I'm kind of exploring the general area around me to figure out where my nearest enemy is gonna be. So we'll talk about the other things you can do in the underground, and that's going to be pirates.
Stand by for phase jump.
So every X number of seconds, I think it's every 10 minutes in-game. I can't remember the exact amount of time. Let's see, what do we find here? Oh, that is potentially sexy. Okay. I think my people like desert, but I can't remember. Oh, there's the game speed. Forgot about that. So there it is. Okay, so we now own this.
So what's the deal with the icons, sort of with the crescents next to the varying planets?
Oh, we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so the pirates are attacking. So the pirates are about to attack. We want to not be here. Leave now.
Destiny unfolds.
So every so often the pirates will attack, and I can spend credits to encourage the pirates to attack a planet of my choosing, or a faction of my choosing. So some enemy player. Are we gonna get out?
Speak your mind.
Are we gonna get out before that attack happens? Oh.
I'm having flashbacks to that
phase jump.
to that business game suddenly.
Are we out? Are we leaving? We're leaving, right? Okay, we're out. Wonderful. Okay, so I can cause pirates to attack other players, which is generally a cool thing. We like that. That is something that you want. Yeah, we're going to want that.
Pirate raiders have departed.
Okay, so the pirates are going to be attacking the Lex Mata, which is not me, so I'm happy. But yeah, we get to kind of use the pirates to do what we want, which is pretty convenient. So, I can do that. Now, the crescents are just quick information about what is going on that planet. So, the left crescent is, I want to say specifically allied ships.
Complete.
So, and they count, it's giving you kind of an at-a-glance view of how many of that particular ship there are in the area. So, let's see, are you a seeker? Yes, go exploring. So I know that, for example, I have a very small amount of ships at Eos, I have a very small amount of ships at Clotha. I have no ships at Tantalus. I have a very small amount of ships at Praxidus, things like that. The bottom one are buildings. So it tells you how full the buildings of that section are, which is pretty useful in general. Let's go ahead and start filling that in. And then the rightmost one, the rightmost crescent you'll see is enemy ships. So it's very likely that when we get to this undiscovered world up here, you're going to see enemy ships up there. That's just kind of how the game works.
Okay. Is there a top crescent?
I don't believe so, but there might be, but I don't believe so. So we're gonna explore this world. I'm gonna see. You might have just seen something here. The problem is I just left there, but someone just warped in through that
Knowledge
wormhole.
acquired.
So, Mychin here is a magnetic cloud. It's not colonizable, so I don't really care about it.
Answer the call.
We're just going to kind of ignore
The future
Mychin.
is ours. Planet
So,
development.
that's not
complete.
colonizable, so there's nothing I really care about that so much. I'm not going to really bother with that at all. Let's see, we're going to buy some of that. Because I want to get some more ore. Let's see. That's... yeah. Okay, so we're going to try to go into Eos, and we're going to try to colonize Eos. Now, colonizable planets come in a couple different versions. There is the Terran planet, which is what my capital is. Those are planets that you can kind of put the most amount of stuff into, like the most amount of people into, because they're automatically habitable planets. Then you get a volcanic planet. Well, there's volcanoes on there, and the problem with volcanoes is you usually can't settle on one. So one of the things we have to do...
Planet development complete.
One of the things we have to do is learn how to colonize those types of planets. So in Harmony, you'll notice that there's the volcanic evangelism right there, which I'm going to start working on now. That allows me to colonize volcanic planets.
Stand by
There's also
for
dwarf
phase
planets like Tantalus here. There's asteroids like Eos. Those don't have really particularly good... asteroids don't have particularly good amounts of people who can live there. So, kind of an issue there. Dwarf planets, kind of the same issue. Volcanic planets are... you can settle them. They're kind of okay when it comes to... how many people can live there. There's the desert planet, the Cebriones over here. But the problem is, the more colonizable of the planet, the more likely it is that... are you going to colonize that? Yes, okay. The more colonizable of a planet it is, the more defenses it's going to have of neutral defenses. So, for example, Okuda, our last scout there, which was 960 seconds ago, showed like 10 enemies there. Now, keep in mind, I have a decent fleet. I'm the #1 military ranked fleet right now. So I have a decent fleet. I could go deal with that. But I'm kind of gradually moving my way around, and I'd rather have Eos as the choke point between Mychin and whatever the hell this is than I do want Okuda right now. So I'm making my decisions here. And we're doing a lot of research. Research is kind of where I'm going to go. I'm going to develop research. I'm going to make sure that... I'm going to go do that too. I'm going to stay ahead technologically speaking. That's kind of my way of doing things. Army, I'm not 100% worried about. We'll get an army going eventually.
Another planet
We are doing pretty good. So I just took Eos. So we're going to very rapidly get the metal and crystal extractors. I'm getting a lot of metal. That is not necessarily a good thing. I would like to get some crystal going, because as you can see, I have plenty of metal, not enough crystal. We'll go ahead and sell a little bit of metal, buy a little bit of crystal to kind of even that out a little bit. We're going to want to start building defenses, but I'm developing my planets right now. I wanted to make sure that Tantalus over here was developed, so I upgraded its civilian infrastructure, made sure that I'm getting a lot of civilians there, so I'm going to get a lot more... I'm going to get a lot more like population, a lot more credits out of that. We also want to develop the logistical capabilities, so I can build logistic items, which means Temple Hostility, Temple of Harmony. I can research better. It allows me to build a frigate factory if I want to build from this location. I don't really want to, because it's right next to my home planet, which already has frigate factories. I don't really want to build trade ports or temple communions right now. I don't have those unlocked in the first place, but I also don't want them at the moment. So right now, I'm just going to use this for like a research station.
Acquired.
Lots of research buildings, so I can research very, very quickly. Okuda is probably going to be the same thing. It's not on the front lines. I don't really care about frontline type things, like building things. Okay. So we're going to take care of Okuda. Looks like there's going to be a decent fight there, but we outnumber them. So you'll notice how there's another pip over here on Okuda.
Our forces have
So I
engaged
outnumber
the
them
enemy.
2-1, actually. I think they have a better mix of guys than I do, but we're going to win that fight pretty darn easily. So if we actually zoom in here and we can watch the fight, our focus fire is nuts. Keep in mind, our mothership here, our Stelwardia here,
Finished.
not the most amazing ship. Doesn't have a lot of guns, The good news about it, though, is that even though it doesn't have a lot of guns, it does do other things, which is why I wanted her first. I could have gone for something different that had more guns instead. We're probably going to build another warship here. Let's go ahead. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to start researching into another capital class ship. Capital class ships are really easy ways to up your army. But the problem is that I have a certain amount of supply, right? I have a total supply of 125. 50 of that is going to my progenitor mothership. 2 of that is going to a scout, and then 72 is going to all these disciple vessels that I have running around kicking ass.
Knowledge acquired.
So that's good. The problem is that that takes my it takes basically all of my fleet command. I can't make any more fleets right now. The Stelwardia just leveled up, which is the other reason why I'm going around killing a lot of stuff, is I'm trying to get levels out of it. So now I can level into one of 2 other abilities. You can't. You have to level up things evenly. No thing can be leveled higher than others. And I believe at level 6 you get its ultimate. So I could level up Malice, which allows me to deal damage to enemies whenever. I can't remember what it is. I think it causes other enemies to take damage when any one person takes damage. That's pretty good. And shield regeneration just regen shields of nearby enemy or nearby allied units, so it makes my army last longer. We're gonna do Malice, and we're gonna leave it on Smartcast, so we'll be able to use that a lot. Arkova just scouted out Eos, so they know it's there. Bounties are not against me, which is good. And there's only one guy left on Okuda, and we're about to take it. So it's great. So here's the thing. Capital ships. I have 1 crew available for my capital ships. That's fantastic. Here's the issue. If I want to use that capital ship, I have to up my supply. If I up my supply, I'm going to start paying 9% of my total credits in taxation every, constantly. So the question is, what's a better use of my time and my money? Is it better to get more supply, or should I do research as quickly as possible and kind of get those going? Get a lot of research going, develop better planets, stuff like that, and then get a bigger fleet. I'm kind of on that feeling. I'd rather do research. I'd rather stay ahead research-wise. I already am the number one research. I'm number 2 in colonization. Remember, there's 10 guys in this game. I'm number 1 in military ranking, number 2 in capital ships. Someone's going after capital ships. I'm number 1 in economy, even though I'm not amazing at economy.
Is ours.
Let's see.
Is it
Can
time?
I get...
Is it time?
No.
As you wish.
I want all of this. Let's see.
What's on your mind?
They're just not making
Is
it
it
easy for
time?
me to select everything but my capital ship. Can you kill that thing
No
quickly?
mercy.
Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it dead. Kill it dead. Kill it dead. Yes, it's dead. I think it's dead. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to send my fleet off to this
As you
undiscovered
wish.
world over here just so I can see what my outliers are, because now I own Eos, so I want to be careful. Let's see. Are there no more? Okay. And I'm going to do kind of the same thing I did over at my previous world. I'm going to expand up on Eos and get it
Another
ready,
planet
and we're going to
joins the
use it
Unity.
to develop.
Knowledge acquired.
Okuda is now mine,
The future
so
is
we're going to deal with
ours.
that. Okay, folks, well, we've been going at this for about 40 minutes now, so we're going to
Commencing
go ahead and
phase
take a
jump.
break, because these games are, these games are going to last for a while, so we're going to do long episodes for these. We'll catch you guys next time.